Hello, Soul family. I love you all. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day today. My name is Jeremiah, and you're tuning into Secrets of the Sacred Serpent, where we discuss all things spirituality and the occult. I've been meaning to make this video for a minute now. I haven't done a live stream in a while, but I've been meaning to make this video for one of my coven members. Jamie, this video is for you. Sorry it took me so long to make it. And today I'm gonna read a couple of chapters and give you guys a couple of practices out of Dharana Darshan, yogic, tantric, and Upanishadic practices of concentration and visualization by Swami Niranjanananda Saraswati. And these practices can be found throughout the spiritual path of Sanatana Dharma, also known as like Hinduism. But these are very powerful practices to tap into deeper levels of meditation and working with being able to move prana throughout your body and awaken your kundalini. And this one is on Ajapa Durana, exercises 1 and 2. Exercise 1 will be the frontal passage, and it won't be the entire Kshetram point passage, only from the Manipura chakra or solar plexus up to the Shuddhi chakra, the throat. And I'll show you guys a diagram. I hope this camera doesn't flip it. I'm gonna have to come back and look at it. But it goes from solar plexus chakra up to the throat chakra, back down. And during these practices, you're going to be visualizing a luminous tube with the energy and prana flowing upward and downward through it. The mantra that is used, Ajapa, is a form of repeating a mantra, either internally or externally. And japa is japa is the repetition of a mantra over and over again, where ajapa is when it becomes seamless and simple, basically, once you get into that flow state. But always remember also, before I read this, that the mantra used with this practice is Soham and Hamso. And just always remember that every time that you inhale through the nose, you're going to repeat the mantra so. And you can remember that because when you breathe in from the nose, it makes a hissing sound. So. And then when you exhale, hum. And you don't have to verbally speak these mantras. You do this internally, along with the visualization of the luminous tube. But I'm going to go ahead and read the practice for you. Ajapa Dharana 1, Frontal Passage Rotation. In the practices of Ajapa Dharana, various psychic passages have been utilized in order to channel the awareness, the breath, and the mantra. The first one, which is given here, is the frontal psychic passage, which extends from Manipura, trigger point at the navel, to Vishuddhi, trigger point at the throat. This passage is a powerful psychic passage in its own right, as the chakra Kshetram, or trigger point, are located here. These are subtle centers which step down the high voltage of psychic energy transmitted by the chakras in the spine for use by the different organs and parts of the body. This frontal passage is the first one given because it is the most familiar and therefore the easiest. It takes little effort to visualize the area between the navel and the throat because we are conscious of it most of the time. It is also easy to rotate the breath here, as the normal respiratory function is performed in this area. Frontal passage rotation has a very relaxed effect on the heart and lungs and removes pranic blockages and builds up the prana in this area. This practice is comprised of several stages which develop the awareness of the psychic passage. First, the breath is moved up and down in a straight line from the navel to the throat and from the throat to the navel. Then the frontal psychic passage is visualized as a luminous, transparent tube. Afterwards, the breath is rotated inside of the psychic passage. When this has been mastered, the rotation of prana is then visualized inside the frontal passage. This is followed by the rotation of Soham and Hamso mantra. With each stage, an increasing buildup energy inside the frontal passage is experienced, and concentration becomes deeper and more one-pointed. This practice follows the principle that an awakening of energy brings about the awakening of consciousness, which makes it easier to concentrate and focus the mind on one point. Technique Stage 1, Preparation. Sit in a comfortable meditation asana. Ensure that the spine is straight. The head, neck, and shoulders should be slightly back. Place the hands on the knees in Chin or Jnana Mudra. Chin Mudra, Jnana Mudra is where you kind of roll your finger and lock it in right there at the thumb. This one, Jnana, is easier for me. Become aware of your body and meditation posture. Feel the position of the body from the top of the head to the toes. Feel the body posture becoming steady and still. Total awareness of the body and of stillness. So this is like Kayasthariam practice. Stage 2, Breath Awareness. Switch your awareness from the body to the breath. Practice slow, deep breathing. As you breathe in, count to 5. As you breathe out, count to 5. Concentrate on the breathing in the throat. As you breathe in and out, feel the breath moving through the throat. As you concentrate on the rhythmic breathing in the throat, you will gradually feel the steadiness of the mind and body as a whole. Now become aware of the breath moving from the navel to the throat. Bring the awareness to the navel. Inhale slowly in a straight line from the navel up to the throat. Then exhale slowly in a straight line from the throat down to the navel. Count to 5 each time you breathe in and out. Go on breathing up and down from navel to throat, throat to navel, until the breath moves along this fixed pathway easily without conscious effort. Watch the movement carefully without missing a single breath. Stage 3, Frontal Passage Visualization. Leave the awareness of the breath for a few moments and visualize the psychic passage between the navel and the throat at the front of the body. See the psychic passage as a long, thin, transparent tube connecting the navel with the throat. This tube is hollow inside and open at both ends like a flute. You can blow through it from the top or the bottom. Visualize this luminous, transparent tube and move your awareness up and down along the outside surface. Try to see the entire length of the tube very clearly. Take your awareness inside the tube and move it up and down the center, visualizing the tube from within. Stage 4, Breath Rotation inside the psychic passage. Resume your awareness of slow, deep breathing. Feel the breath moving inside the frontal passage between the navel and the throat. While inhaling, the breath ascends from navel to throat. While exhaling, the breath descends from the throat to the navel. With the ascent and the descent of each breath, try to visualize clearly the inside of the psychic passage. Feel as if the awareness is moving together with the breath up and down the center of the psychic passage. As the breath moves through the passage, the awareness also moves. Develop the feeling of two distinct forces, the breath and the consciousness, moving together inside the psychic pathway. Stage 5, Rotation of Prana. Intensify awareness of the breath and the consciousness moving together inside the psychic passage. Feel the flow of breath and consciousness, ascending and descending, together through the psychic passage. Gradually become aware of a third force, the pranic force, which is moving together with the breath and the consciousness. It requires a subtle awareness to perceive the flow of prana moving with the breath. The breath moves in the form of wind or air, while prana moves in the form of energy. Become aware of this energy, the prana, moving with the breath. It is actually this flow of prana or energy between the navel and the throat which creates the psychic passage, in the same way that flowing water creates a stream. Be aware of the prana moving with the breath inside the psychic passage. Visualize a thin, sparkling stream of energy, of prana, which flows upward from the navel to the throat, as you breathe in, and downward from the throat to the navel as you breathe out. Watch carefully and try to experience the movement of prana inside the psychic passage. At first you may need to use your imagination, but with practice you will spontaneously feel a power current of energy flowing up and down the psychic passage. Be aware of the movement of prana with each breath. Stage 6. Rotation of Soham. Now leave the awareness of the prana and intensify awareness of the breath. Listen carefully to the subtle sound of each breath as it moves up and down the frontal passage. The inherent sound of the breath is the mantra Soham. As you breathe in, hear the mantra So, and as you breathe out, hear the mantra Ham. This Soham mantra is not separate from the breath. You are not repeating it verbally. It is already going on within the breath each time you breathe. You must become aware of it. That is all. So listen while inhaling and try to hear the sound So. While exhaling, hear the sound Ham. Concentrate totally on the process of breathing together with the mantra of the breath, which is Soham. As the breath moves, the sound moves with it. Be aware of the movement of the breath and the vibration of the Soham mantra inside the frontal passage. Concentrate your entire awareness inside the psychic passage. There should be no other thought, vision, or experience. Try to feel that the entire breathing process is taking place inside the psychic passage only. As the breath becomes more and more subtle, the vibration of the mantra also becomes more and more subtle. Gradually, you will begin to perceive this process as a psychic movement with the frontal passage, or within the frontal passage. The dimension of your consciousness will change as the mind becomes totally absorbed in the psychic movement of the breath and the mantra. Nothing else exists outside of the psychic passage, the breath and the mantra. Stage 7. Now we will change, this is the rotation of Ham So. And this is just starting up at the throat and moving down to the Manipura. But the exhale will always be hum, inhale will always be so. Therefore, when you're starting up here, it's hum, so, instead of on the last one where it was starting down here and then so, hum. Now we will change the mantra awareness from Soham to Ham So. The breath awareness in the frontal passage remains the same as in the previous stage. However, the starting point of mantra awareness changes. Instead of beginning the mantra with the inhalation from Manipura to Vishuddhi, you start the exhalation from Vishuddhi down to Manipura. Bring your awareness to Vishuddhi. Exhale from Vishuddhi to Manipura through the psychic passage and hear the mantra Ham. Then inhale from Manipura to Vishuddhi and with the mantra So. The Ham mantra still accompanies the exhalation from throat to navel. The So mantra still accompanies the inhalation from navel to throat. Only the starting point has changed. Now you begin each round from Vishuddhi with exhalation and the mantra Ham, which is followed by the inhalation from Manipura with the mantra So. Continue the Ham So awareness for some time, intensifying the perception of the mantra synchronized with the breath inside the psychic passage. With the emphasis on exhalation and the mantra Ham, you will feel a further deepening of the awareness. Try not to be disturbed at this time by momentary flashes of light, colors, or vision. Whatever arises within the mind, observe it with an attitude of detachment and bring the awareness back to the breathing and the mantra inside the psychic pathway. Stage 8, ending the practice. Now get ready to end the practice. Withdraw your awareness from the frontal passage and the mantra. Change over to normal breathing. Again, become aware of your physical body, which is sitting in the meditation posture. Feel your physical body from head to toe. Be aware of the weight of the body against the floor. Feel the hands resting on the knees. Slowly move your fingers and toes. Breathe in deeply and chant Om 3 times. So that is the first one. I'm going to go ahead and read this one and then I'll discuss a couple things. So, on the second part, the second exercise is the spinal passage rotation. And this is actually where your chakras are located. And as you can see, the root or Muladhara is down at your perineum, basically. Then you have Swadhisthana up here in your sacral area, but it's kind of like on your butt, basically. The Manipura on your lower back. The Anahata heart chakra in the bottom of the shoulder blades. The Shuddhi at the throat, and then Anya in the center of your head. And the same thing with this one. You start with So, starting down here at Muladhara, and then So up to Anya, Ham down to Manipura. Or Muladhara, my bad. And then you switch to Ham. So as the mantra, going from Anya down to Muladhara. Ajapa Dharana 2, Spinal Passage Rotation. This practice utilizes the most important psychic passage, which is located at the very center of the spinal cord. This pathway is known as Shashunna Nadi, which originates from Muladhara chakra at the base of the spine. It is through this pathway that the Kundalini Shakti, or spiritual energy, must pass en route to the brain or crown chakra, the Sahasrara, where it unites with the Supreme Consciousness for the purpose of illumination. Alongside Shashunna Nadi are located the Fantastic Chakras, or psychic switches. These act to illumine the dormant psychic faculties, which are currently in a total darkness within the inner recesses of the unawakened brain. The purpose of this practice is to develop an awareness of this channel, which is of great importance to our spiritual evolution and growth. The back is an area which we are not generally conscious of because we cannot see or touch it easily. Furthermore, this passage is located at the center of the spinal column, which is a bony structure, making it more inaccessible. Because of our general unawareness of this area, it is said that the Shashunna passage lies in a state of tamas, or inertia, just outside our conscious perception. In order to waken our dormant spiritual potential and begin the spiritual journey, this psychic passage must open. As long as Shashunna is closed, spiritual awareness cannot develop. This practice is comprised of various stages which progressively open, purify, and awaken the Shashunna passage. First, the breath is directed up and down the spine in a straight line from Muladhara to Anya and from Anya to Muladhara. Then Shashunna is visualized as a luminous channel or thread of light within the framework of the spine. Afterwards, the breath is rotated inside Shashunna while maintaining the visualization. Then the rotation of prana is experienced as piercing each chakra or psychic center in turn. Finally, Shashunna is purified and awakened by the rotation of Soham and Hamso. As this practice is gradually mastered, a tremendous buildup of psychic energy is experienced in the Shashunna passage. This buildup of energy helps to awaken the prana, the nadis, the chakras, and ultimately brings about the awakening of the inherent spiritual force, or Kundalini Shakti. As this awakening process gains momentum, the concentration and meditative state gradually becomes steady and one-pointed as the consciousness penetrates the subtle psychic dimensions of our being. Technique Stage 1. Preparation. Sit in a comfortable meditation posture. Make sure that your spine is erect. The head, neck, and shoulders should be slightly back. Place the hands on the knees in Chin or Jnana Mudra. Check the position of the body and make any adjustments. Feel the relaxed, steady, and balanced position of the body. Concentrate on the steadiness and stillness of the body. Kayastharian practice, basically. Stage 2. Breath awareness. Switch your awareness from the body to the breath. Practice slow rhythmic breathing. As you breathe in, count slowly to 5, and as you breathe out, count slowly to 5. Total awareness of the breathing and the counting. Feel the breath becoming slow and steady. As you concentrate on the slow rhythmic breathing, feel the body and mind coming into attunement. The body and mind are being harmonized by the breathing, which is regular and rhythmic. Now bring your awareness to Muladhara chakra below the spine at the perineum. Inhale slowly and move your awareness from the breath up along the spinal cord from Muladhara at the base to Anya chakra at the top. When you reach the top of the spinal cord, exhale slowly and descend from Anya back down to Muladhara. Continue breathing in a straight line up and down the spine from Muladhara to Anya and from Anya to Muladhara. Try to feel the movement of the breath at the center of the back along the spine. It is more difficult to develop this awareness because we are not conscious of this area as we are of the frontal area. Stage 3. Visualization of Shashunna. Now leave the breath for a few moments. Try to visualize the subtle psychic pathways which run up along the very center of the spinal cord. This pathway is known as Shashunna Nadi. It is the psychic channel which conducts the Kundalini, or spiritual force, from Muladhara up to Sahasrara for the purpose of illumination. Visualize this pathway as a long, thin, luminous tube made out of subtle, non-material stuff. See the Shashunna pathway between Muladhara and Anya chakras at the center of the spinal cord. When you perceive this tube, it seems to be transparent, comprised of nothing but light. Particles of white light, fibers of white light, intermingled and interwoven, form this pathway. Visualize the Shashunna passage clearly and move your awareness up and down the outer surface. Experience the luminosity of this subtle channel. The Shashunna pathway is also hollow inside, and it is open on both ends. Move your awareness up and down through the center of the Shashunna passage. Visualize the entire length of the channel from within clearly. Intensify your awareness, awakening the vision of the Shashunna passage at the center of the spinal cord. Stage 4. Breathing inside Shashunna. Now resume your awareness of slow, deep breathing. Feel the breath moving inside the Shashunna passage. While inhaling, ascend through the center of the spinal passage from Muladhara to Anya. While exhaling, descend through the spinal passage from Anya to Muladhara. Concentrate on the movement of the breath inside the passage. Side by side, awaken the vision of Shashunna so that you can see the entire length of the passage with clarity as you ascend and descend. Your entire awareness is riveted inside the psychic passage. As the breath ascends, the awareness also ascends, and observe each part of the passage. As your breath descends, the awareness also descends, observing minutely the entire passage. Feel the breath and the awareness as two distinct forces or flows, one of air or wind, and the other of consciousness. Be aware of these two forces moving together up and down the spinal passage. Stage 5. Awareness of Prana. Now be aware of a third force moving along with the breath inside the framework of the spinal passage. Try to experience the prana, or vital energy, which is moving together with the breath up and down the Shashunna passage. Prana can be experienced as a stream of light, particles of light, or flashes of light moving throughout the spinal passage. It can also be felt as a stream of heat, cold, or electricity, pressure. Concentrate your entire awareness on the experience of prana moving together with the breath inside the Shashunna pathway. As the breath ascends, the prana also ascends. As the breath descends, the prana also descends. Experience the three forces moving together, the breath, the prana, and the consciousness inside the spinal passage. Stage 6. Piercing the chakras. When the awareness of prana has developed to a point where you are able to experience it moving spontaneously together with the breath, Then you must visualize the different chakra junctions within Shashunna. Visualize the chakras as points of light strung together along the psychic passage like the beads of a mala. Now bring your awareness to the perineum at the base of the spine, where the psychic passage originates. See here the first point of light, which represents Muladhara, the root chakra. Next, visualize a point of light at the coccyx, or the lower tip of the spine, which represents Swadhisthana, the second chakra. Moving upwards, see a point of light in the spine directly behind the navel. This is Manipura, the third chakra. Next, visualize a point of light in the spine behind the sternum at the heart level. This is Anahat, the fourth chakra. Then see a point of light behind the throat pit in the spinal passage. This is Vishuddhi, the fifth chakra. Finally, see the point of light at the tip of the spinal passage in the mid-brain. This is Anya, the sixth chakra. Now resume your awareness of the breath and the prana, ascending and descending through the psychic passage from Muladhara to Anya, Anya to Muladhara. As the breath and the prana ascend and descend the psychic passage, feel that the prana is like a sharp needle piercing each chakra in turn. Experience the piercing and opening of the chakras one after another without any break or gap. Do not try to concentrate on the individual chakras or even name them. The breath and the prana are moving up and down Shashunna like an express train which passes through different junctions en route, without stopping at any of them. Stage 7. Awareness of Soham. Now leave awareness of the prana and chakras. Become aware of the sound of the breath as it moves up and down the spinal passage. Intensify your awareness. Listen carefully to the subtle sound of each breath as it moves up and down the Shashunna passage. Try to experience the inherent nada, or sound vibration, within the breath itself. As you breathe in, hear the mantra So. As you breathe out, hear the mantra Hum. Concentrate your entire awareness on this process of breathing and the mantra of the breath, which is Soham. As the breath ascends the spinal passage during inhalation, the So mantra moves with it. As the breath descends the spinal passage during exhalation, the Hum mantra moves with it. The two forces of sound and breath are moving together as if they are one integrated whole. There is no distinction between them. Concentrate on the one movement of breath and sound inside Shashunna passage. Feel the vibrations of the mantra opening and purifying this important pathway, enhancing its luminosity. Your awareness is one with the sound vibration, one with the breath, one with the light. Intensify your awareness of the Soham mantra. The sound So is ascending on inhalation. The sound Hum is descending on exhalation. Practice without missing a single breath. Stage 8. Awareness of Hum So. Here the awareness of the breath and the psychic passage are the same as in the previous stage, only the starting point is different. Instead of starting from Muladhara with inhalation and the mantra So, the starting point is at the Anya with exhalation and the mantra Hum. Bring your awareness to Anya, exhaling from Anya to Muladhara through the spinal passage and hear the mantra Hum. Then inhale from Muladhara to Anya with the mantra So. The Hum mantra still accompanies the exhalation from Anya to Muladhara, and the So mantra still accompanies the inhalation from Muladhara to Anya. The process of breathing is the same, only the starting point has changed. Now you begin each round from Anya with exhalation the mantra Hum, which is followed by the inhalation from Muladhara with the mantra So. In this way, the Soham mantra is reversed to Hum So in the spinal passage. Continue the Hum So awareness for some time. Intensify the perception of the mantra synchronized with the breath inside the psychic passage. Remember that you do not have to repeat the mantra. It is already going on within the sound of the breath. You only have to hear it. Once you're able to hear the mantra within the breath, then you must concentrate on the sound vibration moving through Shashunna in the exclusion of all else. You are aware of only the mantra Ham with the exhalation from Anya to Muladhara, and So from inhalation from Muladhara to Anya. Complete the practice without missing a single breath. Complete awareness of the mantra in the breath. Stage 9, ending the practice. Now get ready to end the practice within the awareness of the mantra and become aware of the natural breath. Be aware of the physical body from head to toe. Become aware of your meditation posture. Feel your hands resting on the knees. Bring your awareness to the environment around you. Slowly externalizing the mind. Take a deep breath in and chant Om 3 times. Hari Om Tat Sat. So that is the first 2 Ajapa Dharana practices found within Dharana Darshan. I already made a couple of videos for you guys kind of with the practices leading up to this, starting with Kayasthariam, practicing stillness, being able to sit perfectly still, moving on to the Chakra Shuddhi exercise where you're actually moving the prana and the energy from the Kshetram points at the front through to the chakra points at the back, so you're moving horizontally with those. And then just breathing into the Muladhara on that because it doesn't have a trigger point, so you're just going in and out to that one. But all the rest of the chakras, you're going from the trigger point, or the Kshetram trigger point, to the chakra points in the back. So that's vertical. This right here that's horizontal. This practice is a vertical practice. You're bringing the energy up and down through the frontal and the spinal passages. And the spinal passage is the Shashunna, which is the main nadi that all your chakras reside within, that goes up your spine. And there's 2 other nadis that go around it from the left and the right that spiral up and through each of the points. And this is the Ida and Pingala. The Ida is the feminine force, and the Pingala is the masculine force, electric and magnetic. But yeah, with this practice, you just go through the steps. Start out with the, I'll kind of do an overview and show you guys pictures again. So I'll put this picture up here for you guys so you can see it. Take a screenshot if you need it. So this is your frontal passage, and it's not the entire frontal passage, it's just the beginning part where you're going from Manipura to Vishuddhi. And then the basic stages are preparation, sitting down and practicing Kayasthariam, being still and focusing on just feeling your body. Second stage is breath awareness, feeling the breath moving through the frontal passage. Then is the frontal passage visualization, which is visualizing the luminous tube, going up and down it, and then going inside, up and down it. That's stage 4. So just going up and down and feeling the breath, moving with the visualization of the luminous tube. Stage 4 is breath rotation inside the psychic passage. So then you're, inside of the tube doing a rotation, visualizing. Then the rotation of prana, which this is where you start to feel the energy, because the first few stages is just your awareness, your consciousness. You're taking your awareness and moving it from these points up and down, and then you're focusing on the breath as well. And then when you actually start to do this, where your awareness goes or attention goes, energy flows. So then you eventually start to feel the buildup of prana, and you will feel it move. You will feel an actual movement. Like they said, some people feel heat, cold, electricity. I feel an electric feeling and pressure, and sometimes it'll be warm. But yeah, you'll definitely feel it after you do this for a while and deepen your awareness and getting to that single pointed focus mind, which is Dharana. Then you have the rotation of Soham, starting at the Manipura, with So inhaling, and then to Vishuddhi. Yeah, this is just to Vishuddhi, that's right, not to Anya. Vishuddhi, and then Ham with the exhale down to Manipura, which is the solar plexus and throat chakra. And then stage 7 is the rotation of Ham So. So you're going to begin at the Vishuddhi chakra, Shetram point, and move down the frontal passage to Manipura. And then you end the practice, just bring yourself back to, the physical realm, bring your awareness back to your body and stuff. And then the same thing with the actual Shashunna, when you're working with your Shashunna, which is the primary nadi within your Kundalini, where your Kundalini travels, the energy. Dang. I'm trying to get it to focus. Hope y'all can see that good enough. But at this one, the difference you will notice is during this first practice, when you're moving it, you just have those chakra points at Vishuddhi and Manipura, and you don't have like the heart chakra in between the point, because it's just a single flowing motion. Whereas when you're working with the Shashunna along the spine in the back, at one stage you do add in the piercing of the chakras, but you don't stop at the chakras. You allow the energy to just pierce through it, pop them, and go straight on. So, preparation, Kayasthariam. Second, breath awareness, so feeling your breath moving along that passage. Stage 3, the visualization of Shashunna, the luminous tube. Step 4, breathing inside of Shashunna. So you bring your breath and your awareness to that, to inside of the Shashunna, so inside of the tube. Stage 5, awareness of Prana. So this is where you actually become aware of the energy moving through it and not just the breath and your consciousness. So this is something you're going to feel for sure. Stage 6, piercing the chakras. So then you go through, when you're doing this, piercing the chakras, you don't stop at the chakras at any point in time. When the energy is moving, you just let it flow and pop them. And also you don't name them or anything. So you don't you just realize where they are. And then as you go, you just let it happen, let it happen, let it happen. Piercing the chakras, that's stage 6. Stage 7 is the awareness of Soham. So you're beginning with the inhale and starting down at Muladhara and moving up, rotating, and coming back down with Ham from Anya down to Muladhara, and then the awareness of Ham So. So you're beginning up at Anya in the center or midbrain and starting on an exhale with Ham So. And then you end the practice back to the awareness of your body. This, I'm going to go ahead and give it a little minute before I do any more of these practices on a live stream, just because I want you guys to practice this for a minute, start for a week or even do it for a month every single day. And I guarantee you're definitely going to notice some differences within your awareness, your consciousness, your meditation practices are going to get much more deep and intense. You'll be able to feel the prana. If you do this every month, you're going to be able definitely to feel the prana moving within these passages. And once you start doing this and really awakening your kundalini, then you're going to have some major spiritual experiences. There's just no doubt about it. You're going to have some extreme spiritual experiences. Your synchronicities are going to come up big time. Your intuition, you're going to be able to hear it and understand it much clearer. Your awareness of the world around you, you'll begin to see the world with different spectrums, and almost like within different dimensions. You can see the consciousness that's residing within everything. These practices are very, very powerful, and I really just hope that this helps you guys. For anybody that doesn't have this book, I definitely refer it to anybody. This book is the bomb. But most definitely, I'll probably come on and do a couple more videos before I record any more of these practices. But I hope everyone has a wonderful day today. I love all you guys. I have like 126 subscribers now, which is just mind-blowing, because like I said, I originally created this channel just to give information and stuff to my coven mates, my spiritual tribe, and so I didn't have to give the same lesson multiple different times if we weren't together, because with this whole quarantine thing that's been going on, it's not as easy to get together as a group and be able to talk about these things to where everyone can hear it at once. So instead of having to repeat myself, I was like, I'll just do these videos. And then it really blew up. I got a lot more subscribers. I'm really grateful for all you guys, and I hope that any of this stuff helps you guys as much as it has helped me, because it's literally transformed my life with all these spiritual practices that I incorporate into my daily life. So I love you guys so much. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope that everyone has a beautiful, blessed day today. And I think that's about it. Namaste.